Good afternoon, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here at my Beehive studio this afternoon. I wanted to talk to you about one of our new Sale-a-bration products. If you don't know, Sale-a-bration is that time of year, usually from January to March. This year it's January to March 2019, where we have products that you can earn free with every $50 or $100 purchase. And one of our new products is the Country Floral Embossing Folder, and this is a level 1, so you can get it free with a $50 order. And I was playing around with it the other day, and I came up with 2 cards that kind of have 2 different looks. So I thought I would show you how to use it. One's very simple, and one is using some sponge daubers to do some coloring on the embossing. So I wanted to show you how I did that and how it came together, because it looks really different from start to finish. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to show you how I made both of these cards. Oh, there we go. There's my view right now. Let me turn my camera down to my work surface. I have a host code this month, so if you need to order products and you spend $75 this month, I have a free gift for you that I will mail you next month. And actually, it's a great time to talk about this because my gift is sponge daubers. They're these little guys. I label mine because I only use them with one color, and that way they don't get muddied up with different colors, and they stay pure and true to the color that they're at. And they're great for adding color to images. They're also great for sponging edges. They're just really kind of all purpose tools, and they're nice because they fit on a finger. So that will be my free gift if you spend $75 this month and you use that host code right there. And so here are my 2 cards. This one I just embossed. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the detail in that embossing folder. This is one of our thick embossing folders, so it has a lot more depth to it. And I just layered this on a piece of Whisper White on Whisper White, and I turned it into a very easy wedding card. And I'll show you how I kind of put the pieces together for that in a moment. But this is the card I really wanted to show you because I added a lot of color to this embossing folder, this embossed image, to create kind of an embossed floral paper. So I kind of love that look, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So let me grab my embossing folder and my Big Shot. So I've got my regular platform right here. And first what I want to do, I want to cut the words that are going to go on the card. So I've got my main platform, my thin die adapter. I'm going to pop on one of my cutting plates. I'm going to be doing a happy birthday card because we all need lots of those. So let me grab birthday and happy. And I'm going to use some blueberry bushel paper. I'm just going to pop my greetings right on top of there. And I need another cutting plate, and we're just going to run this through. Easy peasy. So right now I have the words. Let me just grab a paper piercing tool. I have 3 paper piercing tools, but you know, when you need to find one, you can never find your tools because they're all over the place being used all the time. Okay, let me just pull that out. One little piece needs to come out. So there's the birthday. This is from the Well Written Framelits set. You can get this as a bundle. It also has some matching words, and I'll show you in a moment what words I stamped on the inside. But these are great little words that you can use on cards, and they're the perfect size because they're not too big, but they're big enough that they make a nice bold statement. So let me just set this part aside, and let me not throw my framelits in the garbage can. That would be not such a good idea. Then let's get rid of the thin die adapter in one of the cutting plates, and let me grab my Country Floral Embossing Folder, and I need a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to be using a piece of regular Whisper White. So that's the thinner stuff. When you're making card bases, you'll want to use the thicker stuff, but for embossing, I find that the thin stuff works better, especially when I'm using one of the thicker embossing folders. So I've got my base platform with no cutting plate on it. I'm using just the embossing folder with the cardstock on the inside and one cutting plate, because these are thick enough that you only need one cutting plate. And I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. And here is the piece that I get when I do that. So let us color that up. And to do that, I'm going to use sponge daubers, and I'm going to use a Q-tip too to get into some of those smaller areas. And let me grab the colors we're going to be using. I kept it very simple. I'm using the 2018-2020 in colors. Let me pop that up there for a moment. So I'll be using Pineapple Punch, Grapefruit Grove, Lovely Lipstick, Call Me Clover, and Blueberry Bushel. I'm going to start off with Lovely Lipstick. Open that up. And my Lovely Lipstick sponge dauber. Pop it on my finger. You might want to have a piece of scrap paper. It's always nice when you sponge to just sponge off a little bit so you know how much intensity you're getting. And then I'm just going to hit the roses first. So you just come in and hit the roses. And don't worry if you get onto other portions of your image. This is supposed to kind of be not a perfection thing. It's supposed to kind of be just kind of all blended in together. So I would go ahead and make sure you hit all the roses. There's one down here, one down here, one here, and yeah, I think you've got all the roses. Then we'll come in with the next biggest flower, and we'll use a Grapefruit Grove on that one. So again, I have a sponge dauber that's designated for Grapefruit Grove, and I'll pick one of these dahlia looking like flowers, and I'll just come in and I will sponge that whole flower. So isn't that pretty? Then I'll come in with my Pineapple Punch. That's kind of a bright yellow, and just ink that up. And so this bunch of flowers right here, I'm going to do in the Pineapple Punch. Okay, so you get the idea of that. And then I'm going to come in with my Blueberry Bushel. I'm going to find some flowers. There's some smallish flowers that I want to hit. Look, I got ink on my fingers. That's why you always need tissue. Oh, I've got lots of ink on my fingers today. You always need a tissue nearby so that you can clean off. So I'm just going to use a Q-tip because some of these flowers are smaller, or cotton swab, I guess, if you want to use the non-name brand. Here's the blue flower. So I'm just going to very delicately just kind of swirl over that flower. Let me find another one that I can do for you. So just kind of swirl over that flower. They're so small that I didn't want to use a sponge dauber on them. So you can kind of see how you would be able to get in the detail a little bit more. And then finally, you want to get your Call Me Clover, and you're going to hit all the leaves. And I'm using a Q-tip again, and you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, but there's some little leaves right coming off here, the rose. So we're just going to kind of go over that. I'm using a very light touch, and I'm just kind of doing small little circles. And so now I'm bringing that out. If you have a bigger leaf like this one, you can kind of hit it like this, coming down like this. You still do the little small circles. That will help with the outline. And so you can kind of see how this is starting to come together. You do all the like flowers and the like colors. And as you're progressing, put this aside for a second. As you're progressing, you're going to come out and you're going to do all the flowers like that. So let me just pop these little guys aside so they're out of the way. before I stick my project in them. And so the next step would be to take your soft sea foam sponge dauber and the soft sea foam ink pad. Of course, they're not sponge daubers. They're not called a soft sea foam sponge dauber, but it's the one that I've designated as soft sea foam. So I just take a little piece of paper and I have the name of the color on there, and I just tape it onto my little sponge dauber. When you get them, they'll be completely black, but you can just designate right on there so you kind of know what you're getting. So then we're going to grab this, and now I'm going to come in between. You might want to have a piece of scrap paper when you get to the edges, but I'm going to come in between, and I'm swirling in between here. And in a second I'll hold this up so you can kind of see. I'm just going in between all the flowers, getting rid of all the white. It's very easy to go right over top of those green leaves too, and that just kind of deepens them in color. Let me show you in a second. Half of it done so you can see how it's transforming into what looks like a piece of designer series paper with a soft sea foam background rather than just a whisper white piece. If you saw this and you didn't know how I created it, you might not see that. So you can kind of see the green is starting to transform the background of this. Half of it's white and half of it's green. So then you just keep going and you just keep hitting all those areas of white. Just keep going all around. I know this is a little bit of work, but it's so pretty. I remember, oh, it was a long time ago, right, like probably in the 1990s, there was this, I don't know, this beautiful stationery that used to be in the card stores that had embossing on it. And it just fascinated me because I loved that embossing look, that embossed look, and it was also colored embossing. So this kind of reminds me of that, you know, having just also the embossed look plus having it be colored. So you can blend as much as you want. If you want to go in around the flowers a little bit, it doesn't matter if they have kind of green edges. It almost looks like a shadow when you do that. So let me just grab that edge right here. And there is the background. Isn't that cool? So then you can take that, and I've got a card base. That's half a sheet of cardstock. It's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I scored it at the 5.5 inch mark. You can take it and add it to the front of your card. And I just realized something, because I'm going to show you how I colored my ribbon on my card. I realized that on my supply list I missed a couple of supplies. So I'll have to go back in later. If you're looking for any of the supplies that I used or can't tell what I used, just click on go in the description of my video and click on the link that goes to my blog post, and I have a clickable supply list there that you can access. So this just comes on the front of the card. Okay, doesn't that look pretty? Look, see, it really looks like a soft seafoam background on that base. Okay, let me show you how I did my ribbon. You're going to need a piece of scrap paper. You're going to need the soft seafoam light Stampin' Blends. Use the brush tip, and I'm just going to run that right along here. This is probably about a 14-inch length of ribbon. I can measure that while I'm waiting. Yes, it's 14 inches. So that will be enough to wrap around your card and tie it. It won't be a bow, it will just be a knot, but I actually, most of the time, I do not do bows on cards. I actually just do a knot because I think that just looks just good enough to have the knot. Sometimes a bow is just too bulky, especially if you're going to be mailing the card. If you're handing the card in person, then it doesn't matter, right? But this ribbon here is the metallic edge silver metallic edge ribbon. It has that in the name. It's the 3/8 inch metallic edge ribbon. Okay, look at that. You're just gonna want to let that dry for a second. If you look at the back side, the ink has pretty much soaked all the way through. If you feel like you've missed anything where it didn't quite go through on the other side, you can also do the other side if you want to. Okay. So then let's set up the card while we're waiting for that ribbon to dry. Let's set up the rest of it. So this is a piece of vellum and it measures 4 inches by 1 5/8 inches. And I'm just going to need some mini glue dots. And I'm just going to find my mini glue dots. I'm going to put one on each, near each of the 4 corners of this piece. Get rid of some of that excess paper. Sticking to my hands. All right. So now I'm going to put this maybe about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the cardstock, or the bottom of the card. Okay, so about like that. Then I can take my birthday and take some Tombow. That's too much Tombow. So I'll show you what I do when I put too much Tombow and I get a blob on there. I usually have like a scrap piece, like look at this piece I cut out. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, so it kind of gets rid of some of the excess. And then I can stick that down. Oh, and I got some on the front too. Let's get rid of that before. Let's get rid of that before I stick it on the card. And I kind of have my happy birthday toward the left side. It's coming off. Okay, like that. If you like, if you don't like using Tombow, you can also adhere your cardstock to some of that double-sided adhesive sheet, and then you can do it that way instead of having the Tombow. And then just put the happy right here. Yes, Karen said it came together quickly. Yeah, it doesn't take that long. I mean, you do have to sponge the front, but because there's die cuts for the greeting, it doesn't take as long as you would think. But it's like really pretty and happy. You know, like when you're making a birthday card, generally we spend a little bit of time on it anyway. So I'm just going to bring this over a little bit to the side. Come this way. And I need to find my locking tweezers. All right. I have 2 pairs. This is, I like, I have 2 pairs and this one's kind of got a bend to it. So I tie my first knot. And then I'm going to come in, lock the knot down. Okay. And then I'm going to go and put the second knot in. And unlock this. Okay, and then you can come in with your scissors and snip off the ends. This one could have a bit more of an angle to it. Get rid of the ribbon ends into the garbage can. And there you go, there's the first card. And it's like pretty cool. They'll each look a little bit different depending on how dark or light you sponge them, but they're just really pretty. And I'll show you how to put together the bride card as well, as soon as I find my pieces. It's very similar actually, so I already got the pieces ready because I kind of showed you how to do that with the other card. I embossed the piece just the same as before. This time I'm using a half sheet of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And you can use your bone folder and just smooth down that fold and make it flatter. And then I will take my piece, my embossed piece. I like this embossing folder because this beautiful floral and leaf image is so pretty on its own that you don't have to do anything with it at all to make it look pretty. And I really think that this one has a wedding vibe to it. So, you know, that's very easy to just go very plain on top of that. So this piece is, I need the measurements. It is 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did before with the mini glue dots that they went somewhere right here. There's a lot of stuff on my desk right now. Okay. Stick that down right there. So just grab them and put them in the 4 corners. Normally when I'm doing vellum, I try to hide the adhesive behind something. In this case it was a little hard because I was only putting words on my vellum, so I didn't have a lot of space to hide things behind. But because this is such a busy pattern, it's not going to be very easy to see the adhesive. So again, I'm probably going to do this about 3/4 of an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch from the bottom. Okay. And if you notice that this is lifting up a little bit, if you don't like it once you've got your words down, you can slip another little mini glue dot underneath here to pin this down a little bit more. I'll show you how I do that. Just grab one on your the end of your paper piercing tool and then just delicately lift that up and stick it under. So now because this piece of vellum is a little longer than on my other card, this one will stay pinned down a little bit easier. And then you want to lay out your bride and groom words. I cut these out of champagne foil sheet earlier, and that was the same well-written framelits that I used before. So I'm using a lot of the same supplies on this card that I did for the first card. So I like that. 2 very different looks made with very similar supplies. So let me get the groom on here. I want to put the groom on first because I'm kind of positioning it towards the right side. So I want to kind of get him stuck on here over on this side. Okay, there's the groom. Get the end. Those well-written framelits have so many nice words that you can use for all different occasions. Let me get the bride on there. And then all we need to do is the ribbon. And don't let me forget, oh, the bride has that little piece come out. Don't let me forget to show you the inside of my birthday card because I finished it off a little nicely and I want to show that to you. Okay, so my words are down and it already looks pretty, but it definitely needs some ribbon. So I'm going to grab some of this ribbon. Okay, let me read the exact name. It's metallic edge ribbon. It's the silver metallic edge ribbon. And that is on my supply list, so you'll be able to look that up if you need to get some. So I just kind of wrap this around and measure how long of a piece I need, and then make sure it's flat. You could also use silver foil sheet. I don't know why I wanted the champagne. I know it's a little bit different than the silver on the edge, but I think it just made it pop just a little bit more. So I'm doing left over right, coming in, straightening it up. I need my locking tweezers on the knot, and then I'm going to do right over left, and I'm pulling it through. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then you'll just always want to come in and do like a little angle cut. Angle cuts look a little nicer than blunt cuts. You can spend a little time getting them the right length and the right angle. And there is the bride and groom card. Shove that over to the side. So there's the bride and groom card. Isn't that pretty? And so here's the birthday card I did. Actually, I need to show you this one because it actually has the stamped in the inside. So here's the inside of this one. Isn't that pretty? So what I did to create the rose and the flower here is I did the same thing as I did with the front of the card. I just cut a small piece of paper and ran it through the embossing folder. I sponged it and then I just cut it out. So you could cut out whatever flowers you wanted to and just add them there. So then, you know, you've got the outside and you've got kind of the matching look on the inside. Now the greetings came from the Well Said stamp set, and actually the Well Said bundle includes the well-written framelits right here with all of these words. So if you wanted to, you could get this as a bundle. And I need to add that to my supply list because I forgot I had used this on the inside of the card, and some of you may want to get both of them. And it's great when you get both of them because you can save 10% when you get them as a bundle as opposed to getting them separately. So how do you get the Country embossing folder? Well, I told you at the beginning, it is it's the Country Floral Embossing Folder, and this one is free when you purchase $50 from Stampin' Up. You can choose it as your free Sale-a-bration product. And the nice thing about Sale-a-bration is you can, if you spend $100, you can get 2 level 1 products or 1 level 2. So it's nice, it's in increments of $50 or $100. So it's nice to get that little bonus. And don't forget, if you spend $75, at least $75 in the entirety of the month, I will send you some sponge daubers, which is what we use today to color this birthday card. So I hope you guys like that. I'm just gonna check real quick. While I'm talking, sometimes I miss questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Karen, you have a good tip. You keep baby wipes handy for inky fingers. I think I probably need to do that. It's been a while since I had a baby in the house. My baby's 18 years old now, so I would have to buy baby wipes for that express purpose, but they're really good for that, so I might need to do that. Yeah, Karen says she likes champagne foil for a wedding card too. I do too. It's just so pretty. Okay, let me move around. Okay, well, I hope you guys like that embossing folder. I think embossing folders are a really great product to get for a celebration item because they're just like fun, and I can't get enough of them. There's always something. I'll collect them. They're just very cool to have all the different patterns and stuff. Embossing folders are great because they can really be subtle in the background if you want them to. They add like a tone on tone look if you want them to, or you can have like something really bright like this if you sponge all over them. So I think that's kind of cool. You can have a balance of the two. So I hope you like this video, and thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.